My boy Ka. Itu no kina tiao no. Yes, and what hub? What hub? Zamatat, Wu Zamal, you know what I'm saying? And bienvenido, mi hermanas, mi hermanos. Welcome again, sisters and brothers. You know, assalamu alaikum Zayd, assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, to Zayd, my brother. So recognizing everybody, all those good greetings, recognizing everybody. Again, all in blessings to everyone here. Um, and let's get into it. Wanted to discuss again the African Kingdom Federation. I'm going to bring up some stuff. Also, in the African Kingdom Federation, what is known as the agenda is known as, let me bring it up, as the Project Phoenix. Project Phoenix. Let me bring it up. Yeah, the Project 7 Phoenix is actually the name of it. The Project 7 Phoenix. And remember the Project Phoenix, 7 Phoenix. We're going to discuss about that coming from the African Federation. And congratulations to Ghana, because there was allocated $2 billion for the agricultural center there, especially the cocoa agriculture, in Ghana. They got $2 billion. So this technology, I'm telling you, man, these Asians, Koreans jumped on it so quick. You know what I'm saying? Other nations are jumping in on it so quick, they're going to get that bag because they're bringing in the technology to help African businesses, African agriculture. They're coming in. You know what I'm saying? So we got to say to ourselves, man, come on. I mean, and it's okay. Anybody that has any good technologies and ways and want to do their presentation can do their presentation. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they got $2 billion budget that's going to Ghana. You know what I'm saying? And also the African Kingdom Federation is going to work on some other initiative agenda. That's why, like I said, want to put a team together over here. A lot of Nawapians, Musbatia, Sabic brothers and sisters, and also, in the Caribbean. These initiatives are rolling out. You know what I'm saying? Right now, they're dealing a lot with agriculture, and we're building the academy. I'm going to show you some stuff, about the academy and stuff we're doing, because that's the sector that I'm going to come in, the music and entertainment, and in that academy, and also humanitarian. That's why I'm continuing my study for ambassadorship. It's not here. I should have put it down. But I just got Silos Kongasi. I am the Noble Honorable TFO Carlos Silos Hernandez Pachot. So I am a TFO. That means I'm a task force officer in training. I went through the 19 courses. I went through the module 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm taking courses at the United Nations level, United Nations, and I brought a little bit of that up. So, I mean, you don't have to go that far, but the most important thing of those 19 courses, get at me. You got to have the WhatsApp app, because you're gonna see. I'll put you in the group. I'm administrator in the group here in the USA. I'll put you in the group, and you learn about the 19 courses. You see how beneficial it is for you and your family and for your community. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, you line it up with Wu Sabat. You line it up with your doctrine. If you rock with the biblical or Israelite power, whatever you rock with, you line it up with that. You see these lessons, and then you look into your particular doctrine. Line it up and say, oh, okay, we spoke about this in our doctrine. Like I look into the Nile Valley sciences, Nupu sciences, and I look into Wu Sabat. You know what I'm saying? And I see the lining up, and I see how Panabayanan had put this in our doctrine. It's just that, again, we're having practicality got to come in place. That's where Nabab master. Nabab, the master, pad Nabab, but you become a master when you master the art of something. The master of a master percussionist is one who mastered the art of percussion. You know what I'm saying? He mastered the art of the science. You know what I'm saying? And so don't be afraid of that word master. You know what I'm saying? I'm a master, my son, Mason, my son, a master, my son. You know what I'm saying? I earned that right. That's the reason why I got honorable in front of my name. Noble, honorable. because there's certain lessons, protocol, rites of passage that you got to enter. Same thing with the African Kingdom Federation. There's certain rites of passages. So the 19 courses are so very important. If not, I mean, so very important that it can help better your conditions in your life. So you become aware. Don't be afraid of it, because it's going to open you. It's going to open you up. You know, things that you might have missed in Wu Sabat. Okay. This might just open it up for you. You see, it already was open up for me in Wu Sabat and the doctrine that I received as Ansar and on and on. This is just reaffirming, and it's coming out of Scientology. Because remember, they took our stuff, they rebranded it, and they give it back to you. So if it's your stuff, you're going to find something there that's going to resonate with you. You know what I'm saying? And then you lead it back to the cushion, you know, the Nile Valley civilization and those institutions and those teachings, those teaching forces of nature. You can go into the Metanetta if you wish to. There's so many things you can go into and see the commonality. You know what I'm saying? And then put it into practicality. We got an African Kingdom Federation, which was known as the Ma Federation. Today is known as the African Kingdom Federation. It's a Kushite lineage. It's an actual lineage, a Kushite lineage that comes from Kush, that spread into Yemen, Saudi Arabia, into Sudan. Okay, the Imperial Majesty Kasambura parents was from Sudan. Okay, and then they went into Sierra Leone. You know, because they were a house of royalty, chief and royalty. And then that brings me to another thing about our royalty and our houses here in the Caribbean, in America. There are houses also here that's been displaced. So we have to also work with that. So, but now we have a queendom that's backed up by the African Union, the United Nations. They recognize a queendom that's doing work. It has a central bank, the Bank of Sabah. You know, like saying Wu Sabah. It has a bank, a central bank. See, these are things that we were prepared for, but so along the line, it wasn't meant for everybody. Only those that can see it and acknowledge it and work towards it. It's natural nature chooses you to do what you have to do. You know, we're all very important in this. The most important thing is that we have to better ourselves. We have to change things around. Let me tell you something. I just spent time outside. I was doing my wash. You know what I'm saying? So I went to the laundry room here in my complex. And as I'm sitting down, I'm sitting on the bench and I go in the park and I'm watching all these kids. And as I'm walking by, I see them destroying their environment. Again, this is the suppressive personality coming out because of some anti-social. I don't want to think like this, but I have to be real to myself. Why are these children not being taught from an early age to have respect for their environment? Why they always have to tear it down? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us grew up like that. You see the picture that I have of the South Bronx. A lot of us grew up in that anti-social, you know, and suppressive environment, traumatic, and it did something in us. So it's time to repair that. But in order for you to repair it, you have to acknowledge it. You have to know that it exists there. You know what I'm saying? You cannot cure a disease if you don't know that it's disease that is there. You know what I'm saying? You have to acknowledge it. You got to see that it's there. You know? So that's very important. You know what I'm saying? Very, 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 very important. So these 19 courses are important. Again, WhatsApp app. And then you get at me through Messenger or write me a message on YouTube for those. Or again, you can also text me. You can text me here. Let me see. Oops, sorry. You can text me here. This, my granddaughter trying to get it. This number is just allocated for call-ins. For those people that want to call in, you can call in. Ask me any questions, or if you have anything to say, you can actually do that with this number right here, set up right now through my system. At the same time, you can just text me. You can text me your number or tell me, hey, I got the WhatsApp app. And once you get the WhatsApp app and I put you on my contact, you know what I'm saying? You could text me your information. I'll text you my information. Once you're my contact, you're on the WhatsApp app. I'm administrator there. I add you to the group and take it seriously because trust me, it's going to help your family. Right now, I'm setting an ultimatum, a protocol in my family. You have to study the 19 courses here in this family. You have to match it up. You got to get on board. I already taught them from they were little. When I was at the answer, I taught them noon science. I used to sit down in my living room and instruct my children noon science. My daughters used to get instructed in Arabic Fusa. They used to get instructed in Quran, Ansar, doctrine when they were young. That's why in today's day and time, when if they're having a conversation with somebody or they're having a conversation or with their mate, you got to talk to my father when it comes to that. He'll break it down to you. And you know what I'm saying? I'm appreciative of that. My children got schooling when they were young because I used to sit them down in the living room and I used to give them actual classes and test them on that. My sons, when they got older, when I was into the news science, the nature, I used to hold classes with them every week, sit them down and discuss what I'm learning, what I'm reading and discussing, give them classes to let them know, hey, listen, your mind, your expansion, papaut, expansion. You have the capability of doing that in your mind and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's very important. So you can get at me. Very important. So these courses are very powerful, very important. And again, you take, if you the Quran or the Bible, whatever, you match it up with that. You know what I'm saying? You can take dumb life courses, and then you could find where in your doctrine you see this at the example or the same form, and then you speak about that. You use that doctrine in order to get your point across to your children. You know what I'm saying? If that's the way you want to raise your children up. You know what I'm saying? So the 19 class is going to be just reference. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell you, I did a whole thing on communication and probably going to do the end of it. But what I did was new science and Wu Sabat. I could find things in Wu Sabat. It talks about communication. And when you deal with communication, you're dealing with Tahuti. So the sacred wisdom of Tahuti and how time is important when you even communicate with people. Timing is important. You know what I'm saying? There's science, there's comedic science. You can line them up and you could come, you could come in that form, in that doctrine, in that, in that form. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? So that's all it is. But the 19 courses through Scientology is a course. It's 19 of those courses are give you references and give you from that school of thought. All you have to do is take your school of thought and say, okay, this is spoken about in Wu Sabat. So let me find a way in Wu Sabat. Let me put that together and let me teach my children on that. You know what I'm saying? All it's going to do is reaffirm the importance. For we're dealing with communication, reaffirm the communication. Let me acknowledge people here. P, Zayed, hey, Frank White, what's up? Salud, Frank White, Raoubat, Alex, Hansu, Raoubat. Also, Maasha Shere, long time I haven't heard from you, beloved, but she's on Facebook Live, and that's good. Acknowledge everybody, okay? And so, let me go into the African Kingdom Federation. Let me share my screen. Hold up. So again, where will you find? Let me give you. You have the site. Let me see. Here, African Kingdom Federation. Share. And here you go. This is the African Kingdom Federation site. As you can see, African Kingdoms with an S Federation.com. Okay. And again, this is the coronation that involved also people of different nationalities in different countries. And this brother right here, he's in North Carolina, a very great, good brother. He's in a very high position, and he was there with the Queen of Sheba from day one. You know what I'm saying? This is, you know what I'm saying? So she was coordination. This is the coordination of it. So this is the Royal Parliament, headquarters of the African Kingdom Federation. So when we look, for instance, this is the home. It has chats, photos, blogs. This is my profile. It has a help desk. I'm what is known as an Arcadian, from the Ark. Okay, the Kingdom, the Throne. Now here's the Project 7 Phoenix, which we're going to go into, and I think I have it here. Let's see if that shows up. See if it turns over. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Let me get out of that. Get back in here. Okay. Here's the Project Phoenix. Okay. And let's press that. Okay. So now it's going to, again, the Phoenix 7 project, the Project 7 Phoenix agenda. Okay. This is the, let me see, is it showing up? Did it make its change? What's up, Primo? What do I got? I got to stop sharing and come back to that. Probably do, because I don't see it making a change. Let me do that. Let me stop sharing right there, and let me share this again so that you can see it. Let me see where I'm at. Is it this one here? Nope. Is it this one here? Yeah, it's right here. Okay. Okay. So, you should be seeing this. Okay. Again, the African, the kings and queens, and the king. This is the queen. Okay, of the South, and these are the other chiefs, diplomats, and kings and stuff like that. The agenda, the first and foremost items of the queendom agenda are the further establishment of the imperial queendom of Sheba, Saba, and the continental capital of the African Kingdoms Federation. Kingdoms, the support of the African Union nations develop agenda. Through the support of the African Union, develop certain agenda. With the Queendom, Project 7 Phoenix agenda, Project 7 Phoenix is the simultaneous development of the Africa continent in unity and harmony with the African Union nations. Yes, and they are to be implemented via the following organs of the Queendom. Let's see if this happens here. I don't know. I think that I was gonna. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on here. I think I have to stop sharing to share. Every time I switch pages, let me do that again. Then let me do that. Let me do that. I don't know. This YouTube is just bugging out over here, man. The agenda of the Queendom. Let's bring that up. Here you go. So the agenda, okay, as we're reading, okay, the Imperial House of Sheba crown family. There is a family, a crown family. The agenda will be led by the Queen of Sheba and the Crown Imperial family with the Queendom Crown Government, African Kingdom Federation Crown, Parliament Senate, and the CIHF Advisory and the Queendom Commonwealth of House of Nations. These parliaments, these queendoms, this is the way they operate in United Nations. These are houses. Again, this is the way they operate. They send parliaments. These are, again, queendoms and kingdoms. This is how it was done. You know what I'm saying? This is the princess, the crown prince, highest princess, the daughter, sons, and so on, so on, so on. So the agenda of the simultaneous development of the African continent nation is to strengthen by the full integration, participation, and support of the kingdoms of Africa as an integral part of the Queendom Crown Parliament. Now, the Commonwealth of these nations, the Crown Imperial House Foundation, and the Crown Senate, the Crown Parliament will work together with the CIHF, which is in the lead and the long-term project agenda of the continent. Yeah. Then you have the finances. The agenda will be financed by the Queen of Sheba, African Nation Monetary Fund. You see, Ghana just received $2 billion. Going to be funded $2 billion to roll this initiative, this project of developing technology and stuff to help the agriculture, especially the cocoa, which is very huge in Ghana, cocoa productions and industry. And there are certain houses that sit, certain chiefs and kingdoms that have a land that sits, and this is their agricultural houses. So the Queen of Sheba Crown Government Ministry and the Financial Infrastructure. The Crown of Sheba Central Bank and its Queendom of Sheba Investment Authority. The Queendom of Sheba Investment Authority. And don't get it twisted. They use the word Sheba, but Saba. Okay, Sheba is a name that goes back. You know what I'm saying? But it's Saba. Okay. This will be done in unity with the Queendom of Saba or Sheba International Financial Banking Consortiums led by JD Uruway Bancorp Bank Trust. You know what I'm saying? This is banking. Okay. And this is what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Now, the foundation, the agenda execution responsibilities under the Crown Imperial House Foundation. Okay. That's what CIHF, the Crown Imperial House Foundation and the Queendom Government, led by the Crown Imperial House. Now, the African Kingdoms Federation Crown Parliament Diplomat Mission Crown Arc Task Force, again, Crown Arc Task Force, I'm a task force officer, and the Ambassador Knights wanting to be a Knight Ambassador on social betterment and life skill courses. That were these life courses were changing. We're implementing these life courses of social betterment. Okay. This was focused on development of both the nation's infrastructure and the nation's people are the cardinal importance if we are to enter the new era. We got to change the way we think. Okay. See, I changed the way we think through language. Important. So I'm instituting that, the language of Sabah, Mispatia. So I have to learn my language and so and so and so. You know what I'm saying? And the social betterment and these life skill courses, that's how important they are as we are to betterment, for the betterment and the social betterment, social changing. If we are to survive the new era, this is, again, when you look at Noon Science and Nupu, if we are to survive the what we already spoke about, the cataclysm that happens, etheric, people going mad. You know what I'm saying? People, the more derogatory and detrimental and destruction in society and people destroy the environment around them. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to survive the new era. They're not, because nature is already doing its part. Nature is doing its part. It's changing. You know, we went from the moon cycle to the sun. You can bring it into that whole doctrine, the moon cycle to the sun cycle, and on and on. This is what Pa Nabab Yananin. Remember, Yanun, that being is from Razik. They were ecological people, masters of their ecology. Masters that were 200 years ahead. This Baba told Banaba Yanun related this to us. You can even read it in the book. So Yanin come from Razak, which means provider. They were 2,000 years ahead in the ecological system. Okay? 2,000 years ahead. They still are. You know what I'm saying? That knowledge is there. You know what I'm saying? We have to tie this all back. So there are agenda weekly summits. Okay, we're going that. This is the Adela, right? These are ministers, crown ministers and prime ministers. This here, I'll play it on some other time. What's going on here? Okay. I'll play that some other time. This is Odella. Beautiful ladies who are stepping it up to the plate. Beautiful ladies. You know what I'm saying? And this is a great video. You get into video. So this is the African Kingdom Federation. When you go and you go into, you know, that. About the queendom. You see, I don't know. Every time I press this, it goes into something different. But let me see. Let me see. Let me see if it changes over. I don't think it is. So I have to stop my screen, stop my sharing my screen, and come back to it. Wow. I gotta come back to it. Damn. It's crazy. Crazy. You know, I guess this technology is not up to par on that. But let me see. Let me see. Yeah, you share my screen now. We're here. Okay. This is the house of Sheba. Okay. The house of Sheba. Okay. The imperial queendom of Sheba, or we call Saba, Africa's autonomous matriarchal kingdom. The sovereign imperial queendom of Sheba is the ancestral imperial matriarchic ruling Kush, Nubian, Egypt, mother thrones of thrones, the thrones of Sheba, Saba, and include Sheba, Yemen, and such. It houses the oldest kingdom lines of the south. The mother throne of thrones that stretches both within and outside the perimeters of the African continent, and by divine providence again made risen in 2021 after 21 years ongoing efforts of a far older vision decades for the African Renaissance. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what people can't get. So this is the queendom, family lines, coronation, a personal life. Okay. Again, there's a lot to impact here. A lot to impact. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, what else we can discuss? Okay, so the project 7, let me go in there. We discussed that and what it entails, right? Let me go in here. Let me see. Phoenix 7, the agenda is more. I'm just bringing things up. More. The institutions. Let me go into the institutions. Again, there's a Royal Academy, and a Royal Academy that is being set up. So here you go. Let's share this. There you go. You have the ruling house of Sheba, and that is the crest. You have the queendom government. You have the economic community of the Africa, which is called ECODAS. Now, a lot of brothers have a lot of things about the ECODAS, and they say it's an economic community. Okay, so don't get it twisted. The Queendom of Parliament, the House of Sheba, and you have the Crown Sheba Central. You have the Corps, the Bank Corp Trust, the Office of the Queen of Sheba. You have the Queendom of Sheba Investment Authority. These are the Office of the Queen of Sheba is what I'm working with, and also with the African Kingdom Federation. Now, the Investment Authority, the Queendom of Sheba Investment Authority, those are the ones. Investment Authority, those are the ones that awarded the $2 billion for Ghana, all right, for Ghana. And the Parent Queendom Executive Secretary. You know, this is a queendom, and it's operating in that capacity. And like I said, it's time to move forward. You know what I'm saying? How else are you going to help Annabelle Yananin? How are you going to set him free if you don't expand? That is the doorway to Yananin, is Papaut, the expansion. How are you going to help this man if you know what I'm saying? How are you going to relate to him? Because he's in a whole different, mindset. You know what I'm saying? A whole different mindset as being an honorary diplomat. You know what I'm saying? In a whole different mindset. Even when you deal with the Yamasi tribe. You know what I'm saying? That kingdom, emperor kingdom, that, you know what I'm saying? There's so much you can learn. You know what I'm saying? So much you can learn. So again, there's work being done. There's work being done constantly. So we just have to get it all together. What else I was gonna mention here? Um, what are you doing? Oh man. Okay, so you know, again, let me close out some of this stuff here. Yeah, I've been looking into a lot of the houses. There's a houses Sheba, and I've also been looking into the Iberian Peninsula, different houses and stuff like that. Amenuma is doing something right now about houses. So I'm gonna end the stream in a little bit, and maybe jump on with him, see what he's doing and what's going on. But yeah, there's certain houses that are established. You know what I'm saying? Um, because it goes back into the civilization. That's what makes up these civilizations, these different houses. And it's not to say that it has, you have to belong to a certain house or whatever, but it does help. It does help when right now we are in the house of Sheba, the house of Saba, the queen of the south, saying a Cushite dynasty. We can look at that and see the Cushite dynasty in play. You know what I'm saying? We can see that, and we can see the work that is being done. You know what I'm saying? And we can see that the United Nation is acknowledging it, that the United Nations acknowledge it. All the nations of the world are acknowledging that this is a house and this is a parliament and this is a queendom that exists. You know what I'm saying? And it's rebirthing again. Civilization falls and civilization rise. You know what I'm saying? And for my Sabiq brothers and sisters, Musbatia, Musbatiik brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? We doing the work that you have to do on the local, in your community. But again, the brother Farrell did bring out a good point that we should be already attracting people. You know, it's the knowledge is getting out there, and the more I speak to people and go on here and I say, where you getting this from? You know what I'm saying? So the knowledge is out there. You know what I'm saying? It's out there. You can't deny that Panabayanan had implemented and had it's the center, the axis, the Gupta that had birthed a lot of the narrative that you hear out there. You know what I'm saying? We know that. We ain't denying that. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And so to again to further your studies and go on, you can have all the doctrine, you could all the narrative, but if you cannot put it into practicality, you can't master it. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It becomes the outer band again. You're not centerizing. To master something, right? To make it practical, you got to get to the bullseye. You got to get into the center. Being right at the center. That it becomes unchangeable because it's the center. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it is. So I'm not saying that everybody should by no, follow me or this is that. No, that's not what we're talking about. Hold on one second, yo. I'll call him back. I'll call Alex back. Hansu. I'll call you back, Hansu, if you're listening. So it's not a thing where, follow me or whatever. No, by all means, no. Implementing changes, things that when you look at your environment that can change and better your environment. And you find that in practicality. And if I can go into a church and look at the Bible and just bring up things in the Bible that I know lines up with Wu Sabat, and let those biblical thumpers know, hey, this is Wu Sabat. This is a doctrine, a rebirth of an ancient doctrine, a rebirth that all these other doctrines and schools of thought borrow from the Nile Valley civilization, from the Ma Federation, borrow from that and took it and made it to their science. So you're able to establish that reality. You know what I'm saying? Establish that reality. So I was like, I can speak to anybody out there. My Israelites, I can speak to anybody out there. And I let them, and I come from the heart, and I let them know straight off. And even my Boricua, my Hispanics, so-called Hispanic, you know what I'm saying? People from the Caribbean, Latin America, and Mexico, Yucatan area, even in North America. I can speak, I can communicate with anybody because I understand the process of communication. And knowing that in the process of communication, look at this beautiful thing. Yeah. In the process of communication, girl, ah, touch. In the process of communication, there is affinity. So I'm going to develop that, and also reality. Oh no, girl, you got to go. You're already touching things. This is the future. The future. The future. The future. Okay. Give me 1 second, y'all, and I'll be right back with you so I can close out some points. All right, just got to get the little one out of here. 2-year-old. And my other ones in Orlando, Florida. I can't wait to see them. But that's the future. And like I said, you know what I'm saying? So in communication, so in the 19 courses it teaches you about communication, having the triangle communication. Remember the affinity and the reality. So I'm able to first when I communicate with somebody, it has to be timing. No doubt about it. It's got to be timing involved, and there's got to be a doctrine in place. So you got to have timing. That's number one. And then the affinity has to be developed. And that reality, we got to come to a real understanding. We got to get all those understanding, like our master teacher says, so you can gain the understanding, so you can stand to reason properly, so you can master that data. You know what I'm saying? So you have to. I can establish any reality with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because you can see it when you centerize yourself and you see the commonality. That's communication. Look at the word common unification. A common unification. Common, which is not so common, common sense, but you set that reality. And then the affinity, you got to be able to like it. Draw a likeness to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problems with that at all. At all. I can go anywhere. Anywhere. And you know what I'm saying? And rock like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm secure in that. I'm safe and secure because I know that vibration. I know how that works. You know what I'm saying? And then ever I'm confronted with some type of conflict, I know because the 19 courses says that I seek out the third party. Who told you that? Why are you saying that? What organization? Let's expose that. You know what I'm saying? So I can have that dialogue. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully, things don't get way out of hand, but it gets out of hand, you clap at me, I'm gonna clap right back at you. You try to come, in other words, you try to come on me, weapon, I'm gonna come back with you with a weapon. You know what I'm saying? I don't play. I don't play because I don't have that in me. I'm telling you, we're social beings. We walk up in places, people see you coming and then they can sense it. And you're a social being, and they're gonna hold back. They know when they see. Hanabayanan was the same way. You know what I'm saying? They know when we came, as Ansars and Wapi, whatever school, or even Wool Sabat, we should be at a point right now that people should be seeing us for our reality and seeing how we come and attracting. Everything is there. The protocol, the rules and regulations, everything is put out to us right there. Man, I'm reading the Revelation to the Sabaeans and the Wapian. Powerful. Power. I'm like, it opened me. I'm like, yo, loving it. Because it'll just reaffirm everything that I experienced already and learned. It's just reaffirming it. You know what I'm saying? It's putting it in that doctrine and reaffirming it. Nothing wrong with that, yo. I froze my man. My Facebook froze. Okay. So let's talk about the state of Borinquen again. In the Caribbean, I'm gonna always rock with Borinquen, because that is part of who I am. Definitely part of who I am. My ancestral home became an ancestral home in the island of Borinquen, and many things that could be accomplished. People in the island in Borinquen, especially Cuba, but especially in Puerto Rico, man, for some reason, the people in the island are very resilient, very valiant. The name Boricua But it means that, Borinquen, the place of the high valiant, what? Valiant character. You know what I'm saying? That's important because you got to stand on these principles. Like Abisu Campos, you got to stand on these principles, man. And we cannot stop. We can't become complicit and then watch everything taken from us, right? Watch our children becoming so detrimental, so suppressive. Why? Because we didn't pay him any mind. That's in the Revelations of the Sabir. I was reading it, how a mother and father, if you put more time on yourself, selfish, and in your mate, and you push your children to the side, guess what? The streets gonna raise your children. The streets are gonna raise your children. That's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? We have to really now get involved with our families. The 19 courses is going to help you, give you something to talk about. And then you take the 19 courses and you link it up, with Wu Sabat. You link it up with that and you establish a drill. You establish a format, right? You establish an actual practical skill that you can use in your family. Make it a family day and apply these skills. I like to implement that in the Parad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping to go into the Parad, especially here in North Carolina, and implement this just by example. You know what I'm saying? Just by example. You know what I'm saying? There are times where, people, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say anything about that right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I really don't know how it is. But I'm so safe and secure in myself, and knowing that I had a part in the life of Panabayanani when he was young. You know what I'm saying? 35 years old before he turned 40. I was in his life. We played basketball and we had a great affinity likeness to each other. We established certain realities when we had discussions. We communicated with each other on a one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? So I'm safe and secure in that. So I can go to any parade, to Brooklyn, which I was in the fruit stand right there where that temple is at, right there in the front, where you see one of those colossals or one of those pharaohs sitting. That was me sitting there day by day. You know what I'm saying? I have the affinity. I'm safe and secure that I can walk amongst any Muslims. I can walk amongst Israelites. I can walk amongst Christians. I can walk around Sabaeans. I can walk around people. Bro, if you don't like me, you don't like what I'm saying, then hey, that's your doing. That's your doing. That has nothing to do, but that's not going to stop me for being in the environment and habitat, in the echo. It's not going to stop me at all. Because I earned my right. I'm a Mugdal, an elder. I earned my right. I was even asked by Sincere. Sincere is a brother that was raised with me in Ansar. And asked him to become one of the 24 elders. But I said, yes, I could become a 24 elder. I am a 24 elder. You know what I'm saying? Right? But I'm also a council of 9. Because Baba personally told me that. There's a council of 9 that sits over the 24 elders. So I'm one of the council of 9. And it's not to brag or say anything, but if anything, my work is going to show. What I say is going to show. My work is going to show. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. I'm safe, sound, safe, and secure in myself like that. Okay? I've done what I needed to do and continue to this day doing what I need to do to answer the calls for my tribe, for my family, tribe, for my nation, and also for humanity. For humanity. I said, I rock with the African Kingdom Federation because I see the structure. I see structure. I can rock with Khufu Emperor and the Yamasi. You know what I'm saying? I'm Taino. I could rock with that nation. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to come to a time. But what can I bring to them that's going to be worth something. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm bringing to them and I'm an ambassador, Crown Knight ambassador of the African Union, of the African Kingdom Federation, our federation, and bringing this to the table, like, hey, Winnie Initiative, what do you need? How can we better your community? How can I better this community? How can I better this reality? You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, mama. Oh, excuse me 1 second. Yeah, pardon me for that. Little disruption there, but then it's beautiful. You know, that's my granddaughter, 2 years old. She's so beautiful. So yeah, I mean, and so the state of Borinquen, again, the state of Borinquen again, um, has to we have to pay attention to what's happening. We have to start from the beginning. We have to start with our individual, ourselves, extend these courses to our family, extend these courses to our community around us, you know what I'm saying, our pueblo, our urbinación and our pueblo, and it's spread this, you know what I'm saying? First work on that social betterment. That's the core of it. We have to make sure that the social betterment here involved, you know what I'm saying, in that island of Borinquen. And all the islands in the Caribbean and even in America, whatever. Start with the children. That's why, I'm working on implementing a program. I want to take again, you know what I'm saying? It's nice to bring certain technology, like wireless technology, to children, they have certain kits. And if I can get a couple of those kids, take it to Puerto Rico to school, present that, you know what I'm saying? And you never, like I said, you're teaching them to teach electronic engineering. These children could take it to another level. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, implementing them the life courses and letting them know about communication. So I bring my drums, you know what I'm saying? And how to communicate and the timing, communication, affinity. I gotta have affinity for the tregorpe and rumba, or affinity, and I'm doing bomba for the dancer. That's piquete. When they say when the piquete, dale piquete, when the dancer dance and the affinity, the likeness, and establish a reality that I am communicating with this dancer when it comes to bomba. Same thing with human experience. Same thing. I work with Drum Cafe. Shout out to Elaine in Drum Cafe. We did things on Drum Cafe, and it's very important because we were doing the seminars, conventions, and seminars, and using drums. Why did my thing end over here? And we were using drums and stuff. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, you like the derby? This is from Ecuador. Yeah, yeah, Ecuador. And so, in Drum Cafe, and I watched the way Elaine, and I watched the message. A lot of big corporations used to hire Drum Cafe to to um, do the drumming and to give a life course about drumming and communication the way it was done in Africa. You know what I'm saying? It was huge. We got paid good money doing that. And we did a lot of conventions all over. Conventions all over Florida. You know what I'm saying? We were based in Florida. And we done conventions. And as we demonstrating to the corporation, because it was a convention and the corporation and the company, and we demonstrating to the art of percussion and how that dealt with communication, and is dealt in communication. It was so important in the structure of the corporation. Family is important in family, communication skills in family, in tribal community. This is what we brought with Drum Cafe through drums. So I have experience doing that. Did the same thing in Islands of Adventure. For 11 years, played at City World in Islands of Adventure. We demonstrated, right, through that, I used to dance at the same time, play percussion, how important communication was through drums. We was known first as Lisanga, then World Beat at Islands of Adventure. You know what I'm saying? And then the way they had conventions in the Islands of Adventure and stuff. The communication, the again, the demonstration of how important it is. So you can use something like percussion to teach life skill courses. You know what I'm saying? To teach life skill courses. You know, that's how all of this is just so interconnected, integrated, interconnected into our lives. You know what I'm saying? Into our lives. So that's very, very far from trivial. It's so very important. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Again, download the WhatsApp app. Get at me. You know what I'm saying? So I could put you on my contact list. And that way when you show up on my WhatsApp, I could put you in the group. So when we start this group, we're going to go over the lessons, the 19 courses. I do the lessons here, and then I use Wu Sabat and you know, with Wu Sabat and Noon Science and biblical, you know, and put it all together. You know what I'm saying? So as to show, demonstrate that, yo, this is a lesson. But now to actually form a practical skill, a drill, a skill that drills. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna drill it. We're gonna drill it home. We're gonna drill that shit home. You know, we're gonna drill it home. You know, we're gonna take those skills and drill it home. Simple as that. Simple as that. So, you know, we got great, great, great ambassadors, crown ambassadors, commanding officer ministers. We have some salute Davante Harris. We got some great ambassadors and stuff that can give you their perspective, you know. And then again, we got the African Kingdom Federation. We have the Imperial Majesty herself sharing with you experience. The Queen has the monarch has so much wisdom. Wisdom. You know, many of us have this wisdom, but it needs to be, again, that affinity, and recognize it in other people. Recognize that wisdom in them and rock with it. Again, at the core of it, to social betterment, the social betterment. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I walk my street, and my area is not so bad, it's not so hood, but I got a lot of kids out there that their parents let them run around and they destroy the property and this and this and that. And you'll say, and you know, and this is how I explained it to those young ones today. So there was some ducks. You know, we got a lot of ducks around us, and now this time they're laying their eggs. And then you see the female duck sitting on her eggs, trying to hatch her eggs, and you see the male duck protecting her, standing there. So these kids are trying to disrupt that, you know. And you know what I told these kids? I told them, hey, wait a minute. She's nurturing her egg for the little baby to be born. Just like your mother nurtured you in her belly. You was a yolk. You was an egg in her belly. You know, if nobody disrupted that, so you were able to be here with me. You're able to be born. When them kids heard that, their eyes like, okay. They didn't bother themselves. That's using wisdom. Listen, this is, again, part of the life courses teaches that when you deal with the dynamic of existence, of having care for your environment, and then you can give examples like that. You know what I'm saying? How important it is to a child, how important it is for you to have respect for natural nature and have respect for these animals around you, and have that respect to see it that you are you are them, they are you. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's how you master the self. You know, but that's going into another vein. And this, I'm telling you, Pana Bayanan, and I had a lot of discussion with him. Man, we had a lot of discussion, a lot of things, man. And he was so appreciative, and I was so appreciative of him, man. It was like, yo. So every time he see me, it was like, salam, man, salam, man. And I'm trying to, salam, Pop. You know, Pop, Like, what's up? You want to play some basketball today? Want to roller skate today? What we gonna do? Let's have fun. Roast some corn. We used to roast corn. Anybody remember? We used to roast corn. But again, and I'm telling all my family, yeah, one of my cousins are here. Raquel's here, one of my cousins here from the Barrios family. And yeah, I told my family, get into these 19 courses. But it's gonna better you, it's gonna better your family, and put that protocol in place and says, hey, family, people, we gotta study. There's things we gotta do because this is the new era. Okay? Don't get cut off. Don't get cut off. This is the new era. This is the new civilization coming into place. Don't get cut off. You know what I'm saying? Don't get cut off. To my Sabig brothers, don't cut yourself off, man. Don't stop for the freedom. Arar for Panabayananun. Don't stop. Kafat. Don't stop. Tamkaf. Tamkaf. Don't stop. And it's freedom. Expand. It's freedom. So we're able to have those seats. We're able to be in a better position to say, hey, we're here for you. You know what I'm saying? We're here for you. You know, reach out to anybody you can reach out to. You know what I'm saying? Once you get these courses in and they see the change in you, oh man, you're changed. Yeah, I'm changed. You could change too. And listen, we got to think about this environment. We got to think about things around us, man. We got to take control. We got to take charge. We're living in a new era. New era. The cryptocurrency is coming in, y'all. Okay. And I tell that also, that's part of it also. So the African Kingdom Federation, the Academy, is going to it has a coin right now, very powerful coin, Lukumi. Very powerful coin that's being developed as we go on and on and on. The monetary system, very powerful because its parliament is backed up. You know what I'm saying? And so cryptocurrency, the fourth industrial revolution, and those technologies is at the core of it. We got to take control of it. If not, they're going to use that same technology against us and put us more enslaved and conquer us and enslave us more because we don't have knowledge of it. I know it might sound a bit overburdened when you deal with cryptocurrency and the metaverse and the blockchain technology. I know there's a lot to digest, but you can start from little by little. You Cash App, okay? You can start little by little and get yourself familiarized with it. And then with the Academy, the African Kingdom Federation Academy, I'm sure there's going to be lessons on that as to bring us to that because it's going to happen in Africa. It's going to happen all over the world. And they're trying to control it. They're trying to control it because if they can control it, they can enslave you further. Conquer your economics, your habitat, and your environment. They're going to conquer it and enslave you because you have no knowledge. And later on, your legacy, your children will look back, hey, in the years that the crypto was so low and the things were popping, what were you doing? What? Partying, smoking blunts, partying, you know what I'm saying? Getting your nails done and whatever, and you weren't educating yourself on this technology that's coming in. There are multimillionaires being made with cryptocurrency. There's people out there that I don't even think they deserve it. And they have so much of this cryptocurrency and getting this back. And bro, they're buying houses and cars and so and so and so. I tell you, I had a brother that had two when it first started the Ethereum and he mined them, 2 Ethereums, and he bought his house with that. Almost $60,000 with 2 Ethereums. And this was back a couple of years ago in 2015 or 14 and bought a house with 2 of them by just mining Ethereum. Now, I'm not saying you have to mine these, but I'm just saying get to know how Cash App is Cash App is ahead of the curve right now. You know what I'm saying? Cash App just has acquired Square. So now when you go into all these places, they're going to have the Square. It's going to link up to your Cash App. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And in Cash App, you can buy Bitcoin. Watch those other apps that own the rights to the Bitcoin and you don't own it. See, Cash App don't do that, but you got to get it in time so that they don't make that move. You know what I'm saying? Facebook right now, Facebook, YouTube, all this is in the metaverse. Meta. Look at, when you look at Facebook, you see Meta, and you look at Instagram, you see Meta. That's because they made a shift to the metaverse. Blockchain technology, metaverse. That's the reason why certain things you can't do, because the blockchain will stop it when it comes to copyrights and when it comes to smart contracts and stuff like that. Get to know these things. You know what I'm saying? Or get to know on just simple operations of this. You know what I'm saying? Get to know it. WhatsApp app is also encrypted and is also on a blockchain. So that's the reason why we use the WhatsApp app. Use WhatsApp app, Telegram, you know what I'm saying? A lot of some of these apps are again are on a blockchain and they're protected, you know what I'm saying? And so get to know them. Get to know them so you can get to use them. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Devontae Harris. You know. So again, you know, like I tell everybody, you know, practicality. You know what I'm saying? And I, as a brother, you know what I'm saying, I'm definitely doing the best. And I'm gonna do my best to make sure that people around me, my environment, people around me know these 19 courses, you know, as a references. But then I'm gonna also look into the Wu Sabah, Sabi, because that has to grow also. You know, that's what resonates in me. And I can use biblical text or Quranic text, whatever. I can still use the Abrahamic faith, even though that's religion. Religion is done with. That's it. You know what shut the religion down? The pandemic. Pandemic. Shut it all down. You know what I'm saying? Now, religion is done. Everything is being exposed. We're in the apocalypse. It's revealed. Everything is being revealed. So you have to be truth is truth. You have to be truthful with yourself. Doesn't mean that you have to become complicit to any other school of thought. It's just you have to just recognize that the truth is truth. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? And know and accept it. When it's accepted and know, well, then how is this going to better my society? How's this gonna better me? How's it gonna better me as an individual, my family, whatever? You know what I'm saying? If it's not working for you, if you're the only one in your family, if you're the only one in your block doing salah, the only one in your block doing salah, and nobody want to rock with it, and people are progressing in other ways, what that tells you about you? Hmm? Can't be like that. No. You know, there's still a lot of churches in here that has a lot of members and stuff that complicit, but I'm sure misery loves company, y'all. I'm sure there's things that, you know, or if that church is smart and they're doing and they're making the move to the new era. Because you have churches like that, they switching up the narrative a lot, switching up the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Or just be careful, man. Just like I said, truth is truth, and not more powerful, not more, not more stable foundation wise than truth and facts, actual facts. Nothing more stable than that. You know what I'm saying? When you know the truth about something and you know the facts about a thing, you're armed with the best, best defense and the best narrative. You armed with it. You know what I'm saying? So again, I tell you, um, you know, the African Kingdom Federation, as far as the academy, you know what I'm saying? This is coming to you in that form. And like I said, I rock with it. I rock with it because what I'm seeing is structure. I'm learning about ambassadorship and structure. I'm learning about the United. Now, I'm not too crazy about United Nations things like that, like somebody else. But there's a lot of diplomatic forums. There are things that are being done that we have to be aware. And in order for you to change your narrative, in order for you to secure yourself, you got to know it. I got to know it. I got to know how to talk to the head of state, and I got to know how to be backed up. by all certain organizations. I have to know these things in order to take it into certain arenas, a certain platform. I got to know it. And then how does that impact us in everyday life? Because people notice that and they see it. And now you know in your mind says, yo, I could transform, I could transcend everything around me into a humanity and a galactical vision. Everything about it. No matter what you do in life, I could take it further. You know what I'm saying? I could take it to that world. You know, even into the metaverse. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be contracted to just one thing. You know, I am again the all is of the all. You got the all and you got all. All is from within. It's in the all. And that's again, that's your nature. The suniverse, the sunniverse, all those suns, which are stars, constellations that affect us, affects us. That's going into that whole narrative. But again, here, download the WhatsApp app, get at me. Those classes are going to start soon. I'm going to continue on doing my recap of the 19 courses and try as much as I can, definitely do all that I can to line it up. Line it up. Look at the lessons of Wu Sabat. Look at the lessons of biblical lessons. Look at the class is going to start soon, Bond Dog. I was just telling everybody to get ready. Get on the WhatsApp app. You have my number. So once you get on WhatsApp app, you have my contact. I'll look for it. I know your name. I'll look for it, add you to the group. So when those classes start, to start. But right here, I think on Wednesdays, when I do the 19 courses on Wednesday, right here on my live, I try to do the courses. So we talked about communication. On the last one, we were going into that, and that's one of the course. It's called communications, and we learn what communication is, how we define it. Again, like the nature says, you have to define an explanation. The definition is very important. Definition is very important when it comes to communication. Definition. Because I got to know how you define things in order to have that affinity and then create that reality. What's the definition? Because a lot of us carry our own definitions, but we won't carry a damn dictionary. Ain't that funny? But we'll carry our own definitions of what we think, which is an opinion. I think, or I feel. That's all opinions. All opinions. But what's the actual fact? Well, then look, this is a language, an English language, or that came out of German, or came out of England, wherever it came. Look at the dictionary. Open it up. See the origin of the word, of the term. See the origin of it, and see, am I using it in its proper content? Because if we leave it to our own imaginations, it's going to take us all over the place, y'all. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to make sure that that's Imagineering, is to take those ideas and concepts, imagine those, and bring them into practicality and create a reality. You can't do that if you're Imagineering, if you're all over the place and you have your own. No, you got to apply sciences to it, mathematics. Engineering deals with mathematics. So you take ideas and you transform it and you create a practical device or thing, right? Through using mathematics. That's communication. Mathematics is timing, and that's communication. See, we can link all of this together. And that's what I try to do in my lives, is try to link everything together in order together. As I said, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the way I think. And not only that, I want to make sure that I'm staying true, you know what I'm saying? That I am, again, reciprocating, postulating the truth. I'm putting the pieces together. Because like they said at the end of the day, everything is half truth, but your piece matching up my piece, that affinity, and that we draw that reality, now we can communicate. You know what I'm saying? Now we can communicate. But when a lot of people carry their own definitions, it gets very difficult. And then there are people that know that, and they'll play on that. That's what happened with us one time in Sonetta. You know, Uncle was asked us about spiritual. What's our definition of spirituality? And he said, watch this. He knew, yes, on Wednesday you could be in my class, but also get the WhatsApp app and be in the African Kingdom Federation classes that's going to be held by the crown ministers and stuff like that. That's important. I'm going to be sitting in that class myself. But check this out. He asked that question and he says, watch this, because he knew everybody had their own definition of spirituality. But I gave him a actual definition of what spirituality is. I told him in the Law Dictionary, spirituality is this. In the Western Dictionary, spirituality, spirit is this. In the lexicon, spirit is this. I gave him actual, you know what I'm saying? So he didn't want to rock with me, but everybody else had their own definitions of what spirituality is. And the people play on that. You see? They ain't spiritual. They all have different. Yeah, he was right. But when it came to me, I gave him actual. He could open up a book and find the definition I gave him from the book. Because I have my computer. I can get on my computer and see the definitions firsthand. Or I got a dictionary here. You know what I'm saying? I got a encyclopedia on my computer. So while he's asking that question, I'm like, okay, pop, boom, pop, boom, boom. And I got the Black Law Dictionary too, 4th edition. Boom, pop, pop, boom, boom, boom. Here it is. Now what? This is what the English language says. This is what the unabridged dictionary says. This is what the encyclopedia says. Argue with them, not with me. I don't have my own definition. I don't like to carry my own definitions because it can lead me astray. It can lead me astray. I do like to break down words, the etymology of the what's the mimic, the etymology of words. I can do that. I can learn how to do that, and then differentiate the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's something that could be done. See? You know, you can develop those skills. But again, I have a thesaurus on hand. I have a lexicon. I have a dictionary. You know what I'm saying? And you can just Google things sometimes and it'll pop up Wikipedia. And then Wikipedia can give you references in the bottom. You see, I just don't read the top of the Wikipedia. I go to the reference. Where did Wikipedia get this from? Let me look at the references that is there, and then I go into the references and pull those books. See, that's the key. That's researching. Search, continue, research, search. You know what I'm saying? That's a method of doing things. That's a method. You know what I'm saying? So again, yeah, people have problems with that. Problems with me. I'm telling you, I'm going to speak to you. I'm not going to give you my own understanding of things. I cannot do that. I got to see, hey, listen, this is the consensus. This is what's being said out there. I'm going to wait it out and say, is this beneficial for us? Like when I did my presentation on Sonetta about the Mali Empire coming here 2,000 years before Cristoforo Colon, or the person that they say is Christopher Columbus, a made-up character, which is Cristoforo Colon, and those ships that came from Iberian Peninsula. You know what I'm saying? So 200 years, the Mali Empire. So I said, listen, I'm just giving you what's out there. And I'm putting those pieces together, right? And I'm giving you linguistics finding. I'm giving you agricultural finding. I'm giving you peer-reviewed finding, books published in Harvard University. I'm going back hundreds of years of things that are being put out there. And I didn't bring up Umari, Abid Umari, and the Perry map of what he wrote in the 1300s. I didn't even bring that up. I said, let me put this in. Let me put this here. That's my 8-ball. That's my pocket ball. Bah! Let me put this here. Reggie tried to come at me. I was ready to pull it out like, bam, here it is. But then I said, nah. But the most important question that I ask is, who is it going to benefit by learning by repeating this narrative, is it going to benefit us as a people, our children? Are they going to learn? Or is the slavery narrative, is that more beneficial for our people? I choose the first. You know, I say, hey, my ancestors were not only slaves. That was just a part of my ancestry. It was probably slaves. Yeah. They were enslaved also. They came here free and then they were put into slavery here. You know what I'm saying? But then the Mali Empire. And I prove in genetics how Seneca Gambia is so underrated and so underrepresented when it comes to DNA sequences in the Caribbean and in Brazil, Caribbean, and in North America, how that was so underrepresented. There was so much large Senegambia. Where did that come from? Because when you pull that together with the shipping records, right? I have the actual shipping record. It tells you how many slaves were in a certain ship, where did it embark, and where it debarked. I have those. I've read those. And I said to myself, it's not adding up. It's fractual. It's not adding up. But when I look at the narrative and I add it up this way, and I said, oh, it's like a puzzle. You know, you look at, you got to swing the puzzle around and say, well, this piece will fit here. This piece definitely goes here. This piece goes here. Oh, this piece doesn't fit in. Even if I turn it this way, that way, no, it has no bearings on this puzzle. That's a method. You know what I'm saying? So, but the most important question is, who does it benefit? Who? So I always think like that. Is when I look into the 19 courses and I say, oh, this coming to Scientology. Ah, shit, Scientology. I ain't going to join no damn Church of Scientology. I already said it. That's not me. That's not how I roll. But then I said to myself, let me see how this fits into Wusabat. Let me see how this fits into Nile Valley Science, Nupu Science. Let me see what common unity is here. Let me see how this fits. Let me see, is something I'm missing? Something they're onto here? Well, the work is done. You got to do the same thing. If not, others do it for you. But that's sound right reason. See, we've spoken that before, Noon Science. That's the best reasoning you can use to figure things out. To figure things out, you have to use that sense of reasoning. You know, and that's a process. And so the 19 courses, again, give you this sense of reason. Hey, reason this out. Think of it. Reason this out. Can you reason it out? And can you establish that this is going to be beneficial for you and your society and your family? Reason it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. So that's why these 19 courses are very important. Wednesday, I'll do my version of it, you know, and I'll go over it, things like that. But again, I tell you, the WhatsApp, get into the class, because I'm in that class also. And I will speak sometime in that class. And that's important because now you are increasing your borders and you meeting people that are like you and that want to better their society. They want to better their family. They want to better their communities and their tribal. You know what I'm saying? And now you know. I mean, I speak to people every day of all different nationality. And when I speak and I speak about certain principles and morals and conducts and stuff, they agree. They agree. They're like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Let them know, hey, look, not everybody from the hood thinks like this. We ain't hood rats. You know what I'm saying? We are a noble people. But you have to think noble sense. You got to have that noble sense. The honorable, noble sense. And noble is also Noon Science. When you into Noon Science and you sound right reason, noble, nupu, noble, you become noble. It's all connected. You know what I'm saying? And so when people see that, it's like, don't be afraid to show that. Don't be afraid. And it's not a kumbaya moment. Let me tell you, it's going to be a lot of there are things that you got to overcome in yourself and overcome around you, but you do it in the right way. You figure it out, and you cause the least amount of harm to people around you. You see, you could be forceful, you can stand your ground, you can do this, you can, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but you cause the least amount of harm to that family, you cause the least amount of harm to your community, the least amount of harm to humanity. You limit that amount of harm. You know what I'm saying? That's the way things are done. It is what it is. Anyhow, I'm gonna leave it there. I've been an hour. Oh, damn, hour and 23 minutes. Man, hey, yeah, I appreciate everybody. Again, you could, if you don't have my number, then text me this number that you see scrolling in the bottom. You can text me and just make a reference saying, hey, this is so and so and so. You know what I'm saying? I download the WhatsApp app. I'll send you my contact number that my WhatsApp app has. And then once I send it to you, then you send me a message in the WhatsApp app. Bang, I put you in the class. And once that class starts up, man, you're on your way to learn things and to actual practical skills that you can apply to yourself and just to reaffirm already by the way you think, to reaffirm it so that you can communicate this better to your family. You can use it to communicate already what you have inside of you. Sometimes you can't put it out in words. So when you read certain things and you get involved in certain school of thought, then you're able to to speak it right. You know what I'm saying? It's using the right type of timing and method of verbiage and linguistics, using it, you know what I'm saying, the right way. And it says, okay, like things I might say, people say, man, I thought about that, but the way you put it now gave me a way to see it and to communicate it. And that happened when I did a presentation on esoteric thought, and I did on Now Valley. This brother from Masumbike, and the brother from Masumbike, an African brother, got back to Esso Mike and told him, "Hey man, that dude that did that whole presentation on Now Valley, I always thought about that, but I just didn't know how to communicate it. And he just gave me the key to how to communicate this to my people in my village." There's things that people say that I'm like, oh, I like that. Hansu could tell you, oh man, I like that. It gives me a better way to communicate. You see, so the life courses gives you a better way to communicate, and also to establish drills, skills that are drills that you can actually do and have a family night instead of playing Scrabble. You can play Scrabble. Scrabble is nice, or you can play those games again, or you can get on the computer with your child and says, "Hey, listen, check this out in this course, and what do you think about this? Let's read about that. Have a discussion." I have another brother that his mate told me, "Yo, ever since my son watched you online and the things you were saying, I'm now able to communicate with him and have conversations with him." He asked me certain questions, and I enjoy that because now I can sit down with him and have these conversations and these questions that he had because he heard you. You know, so you would do the same thing. I My children might hear you say something or communicate with you or say something, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, they're like, wow, I'm learning something here. I'm learning. Anyway, all in blessings to everybody. Luis Salsa, what's up? And my cousin Raquel Fleming, love you. Love you, cuz. Bondo, Davante, yes, Davante. When people say that pseudo, what that means? Yeah, pseudo is a derogatory term. You have open up the dictionary and look up the word pseudo. It's derogatory. Immediately when they call you pseudo, that's a derogatory term. That's like saying F you or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has a prosthetic arm. You're gonna say that's a pseudo arm. It's derogatory. You know what I'm saying? It means uningenuine. It means false, like a false prophet, call them pseudo. Things that are false, that appears to be real, but it's not real. You know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of I don't use that term. Pseudo is Greek, I believe. And I don't use that at all. I think it was just a term, a derogatory term that happened to come into the English language, especially in the Black conscious. Somebody threw a piece of crap on that fan and it got over everybody. Now everybody trying to use that word pseudo, pseudo, but they don't have the meaning of the word pseudo. They don't. And then when you call somebody pseudo, now the burden is on you to prove it. Prove it that this person is uningenuine. Prove it that they false. Prove it that it doesn't match up, that there's no truth in it. Prove it. Just by you using a derogatory term like pseudo doesn't make it pseudo. Does not. You have the burden of proof is on you. Prove it. Prove that it's pseudo. You know, look at it. You know, do the work. But the people just use the word pseudo, 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 and then people just pseudo, and they run with that. You know, they got that stain on them. I'm telling you, somebody threw a piece of caca on the fan. You know, when you throw caca on the fan, it spreads all over and gets on people's clothes, and then you got people walking around with stains. You know, and that happened in the conscious community. You see it, that term used a lot in the conscious community. When I say the not so the not conscious community, because that's you can be conscious, aware of certain things, but to be conscientious is a different thing. That's the act of being, you know, the act of doing something is conscientious. You know what I'm saying? That's the act of it. And that's what a lot of them don't have. They're not honorable in that sense. So that's why I'm going to introduce the 19 courses. It says, yo, but it's okay. Oh, it's pseudo. Why? Because it's Scientology. It's pseudo. So the burden of proof, prove it. Let's look at each one of those courses. Let's look into it. Let's read it. Let's impact it. Let's impact that and see whether it's really pseudo. Hold on 1 second. You know, so when somebody says use that term a lot, Devante, pseudo, 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 they're just repeating verbiage that they really do not understand. Now, if you want to use a derogatory term, you want to call somebody pseudo, and you can prove it, it's a different thing. But that's antisocial. You know what I'm saying? That is antisocial. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's derogatory when you use those terms. It's antisocial. There's a lot of that was leaked into the conscious community. And they purposely did that. Certain people purposely did. They didn't know. They didn't know, and they purposely did it. And now, like I always tell the pseudo killers, kill yourself, man, because you're the most pseudo people I ever heard. Why? Because it's derogatory. You're always beating up on people and beating up, and then you leave them. You know, I remember, and before I leave, I remember as Ansars and we went out propagating, one of the important lessons that we learned. Oh, hold on a second. One of the most important things that I learned as Ansar was, and the brothers could tell you, even when you propagate, and I tell brothers, even Sabiq and Nawapian, when you use your doctrine to break up and to badger some other person's belief or their doctrine, and you buy, you know, let's say Israelite, and you banging on them, bah, boom, bam, 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 bam. And then if you defeat them, you have them like that, right? Are you going to leave them like that, or are you going to build them back up again? You see, don't beat somebody down and just leave them like that, and don't offer them truth, or don't offer them something to repair their doctrine or that person's soul, because you're dealing with soul. That's you got to be very careful. You're dealing with people's soul, man. Those feelings, those emotions that create habits, that creates their paradigm. You're dealing with this energy. You got to be careful. Very careful. So people go with the willpower, tear you down. It's like a martial artist. I could tear you down, but then I'm gonna leave you like that. I'm not gonna offer you no comfort and console. Take you under my wings, offer you some coaster, and says, "Man, I did it, but I build you up better than what you had." See, that's important. So I find that a lot of people, again, if you want to use a derogatory, pseudo, because they do this. They're false. They fracture. False. The pieces don't add together and they fractalize things and don't know how to bring the pieces together so they make sense. And then they will leave it at that. They'll chop it up, right? And leave it like that. And now you're walking with a broken piece. A lot of broken souls out here. A lot of broken people out here because they came across somebody and they slammed them with something. They took that doctrine and slammed. You can't do that. I never operated like that. Panama never did that. We as Ansar, there were brothers that were like that, and that was bad. That you wanted to see somebody angry, pissed off at that? Panama was angry and pissed when that went on because he never showed that example. He would go at a person, and then at the end of it, he'll build them back up again. He'll give them some truth and build them back up again. Give them a stronger foundation. Says, yo, this is this. I'm gonna give you a strong foundation for you to stand on. Truth. That's the power that we have. So yeah, some people just are not. Okay, Bondo, being both, yeah, man, Papa. Yeah, like I said, come at get the WhatsApp app. Simple, it's free, and then we'll take it on from there, man. You know what I'm saying? And learn and see and take it so that it's beneficial to your family, man. You love your family, you want to see them grow. I telling you, I gave ultimatum to my family here. You're gonna learn these 19 courses. If not, I want nothing to do with you. That's tough love. I want nothing to do with you. I'm ready to call my daughter and let them same thing. You got to study these courses and think and show and see how you can implement it, better your life. And let me tell you, and I'm gonna give them some Wusabat and the revelations of the Sabaeans and so on, and tell them, oh, listen, let's live by some type of principle, protocol, laws, protocol. Let's live by some type of principles and morals and ethics. Enough is enough, man. This ghetto crap, and they ain't doing shit. No, by the hood, I don't glorify any of that. They ain't doing nothing for us. Nothing. I want to see growth. So many communities we lost. So much land, community, we lost those things because there was no morals and no ethics there in the beginning. None of that. Very selfish, antisocial, suppressive personality, selfish. And that's bad. Some days are over with. We're living in a new era. Are you going to be part of that new era? Are your legacies going to survive that new era? You know what I'm saying? Because we're in a new era. Okay. And I'm going to leave you with that. That's it. I'll leave you with that. Okay. So, all investing.